press record would be nice. We're recording now. Before we start this call, thank you, Sable, for volunteering to talk about basics, which is what this call is about.
Yes. So what brought me back to this idea of getting back to basic was because I really felt myself struggling. Like I felt like I was standing still and everything in my life and my world was just spiraling out of control around me. It wasn't. I mean, I'm a multitasking, organizing, like time management, project management guru, but even it's like that idea of juggling, and when you drop the ball, you drop all the balls, kind of. And I felt like just because I was juggling, I felt like too many people were throwing other things in there at me. And as I was spinning it, I was standing still and I could just see it like a whirlwind around me. And I just felt like I couldn't grasp it. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't, like I felt like I was on the verge of dropping all the balls. And specifically like my health, because that is usually the first thing that we neglect when we start juggling and balancing all of these things. So over the last 6 months, my life has done a 180. I have had my mother-in-law living with us. She no longer lives with us. She has some very serious medical issues. She hallucinates. She's like anxiety ridden. And it was a really terrible situation, because of course I love her very much, but, she started accusing me of things that weren't true. And so it was just a very negative situation. She's unable to take care of herself. So we did have to remove her from our house and she has to stay with another family member now. But that was really tough for myself and my husband, and being like a lover and a giver, and I wasn't able to solve these problems or help, or I felt useless in the situation. So that did a really big negative effect on myself. We also bought a house, so that's like really exciting. But buying the house, you're an emotional roller coaster, right? So my mother-in-law moved out in October. I bought the house the beginning of November. I was actually homeless for 2 weeks in between and staying with friends. So you want to talk about like not knowing up or down or left or right? Like, my gosh, my cat only just now is like, oh, this is where our stuff is. So I guess we live here now. Like, she's crazy. I'm crazy. Everybody's crazy. My husband works nights and I work days. So I only see him on Sundays. So navigating all of this like left me emotionally distraught. I'm an emotional eater. I'm a stress eater. And so I felt myself beginning to fall back into these habits. So with the move, with trying to stay motivated, I was really feeling out of touch. So back to basics is just that. Like I said, no, girl, you're not going to keep going like this. Like we've done this too many times. Like this is not your story. You're not going to keep spiraling. So I stopped. What is the basics? Take care of yourself. If you can't take care of yourself, you can't take care of anybody else. So I stopped. I literally stopped everything I was doing. And I said, where's my freaking shake? Did I drink my shake today? No, why not? I'm not doing anything right now. Drink my shake. And I got right back into drinking my shake every day because I was skipping days. I was, like that is the simplest thing we can do, right? We have to eat. We have to nourish ourselves. And I wasn't even that. I was even taking the time to pour a powder into a shaker bottle, like the simplest form of nutrition. So made my shake. All right. What's my second basic step? Did I do my workout? Nope. Oh, guess what? I'm doing my workout now. So I started doing my workout. Instantaneously from drinking the shake and doing my workout, my day was completely different. I had stopped from feeling tired, from feeling worn down, from feeling depressed, from feeling anxious, from feeling lost in like all of these burdens and things that I had to do. And I was like, bam, full on energy. Like I had a coffee, I drink decaf. And I was like, damn, I swear that girl gave me caffeine. Like that's how crazy I felt. I felt completely like a different person. All I did was 2 things that are in my daily rituals that I had gotten away from. 2 things. Simple. One a shake, one a 30-minute workout. Done. And my day was so different. Those are non-negotiables. Non-negotiable. A shake, you can pour it into your water because it tastes that good. And 30 minutes of moving. And I was a different person. So I'm like, great. All right, now I have all this energy. What else can I do? So I'm like, girl, you got to grocery shop. Like, there's no food in your house. Okay, so my basics are even more than just those business basics, right? Like, it's the simple things like, do you have fruits and vegetables in your house? Are you able to, if your life is that crazy busy, do you have the simple necessities? I meal planned. I wrote down all my meals. I started meal prepping. My goal this week is to cook dinner every night. Whoop, I already done it. Done all week, right? So starting back at basics, there is a point where like you can't go from 0 to 100. I get it. So, but by me incorporating those first 2 steps, it gave me the encouragement I needed to keep on that positive path, right? We deal with this with our clients. We go through it too, even as coaches. So if these are the things that your clients are going through, like this is such a humbling experience for me to like take a step back. No, I'm not perfect. No, my life's not perfect. And this is just a reminder of the girls and the clients that we want to work with out there. This is what they're going through. So how easy for us to say, do you take care of yourself today? Drink some more water. Drink a shake. 30 minutes of moving. Eat a banana. Like simple things make the biggest changes. So then I'm like, you know what? Now I got to get back to my self-development, right? One of our other basic components. I hadn't been reading because I couldn't get my mind quiet enough to even want to sit and do that. So I start reading. I'm like, man, these are some great articles. I got to talk about this. I have to share these with people. Now I have people I'm posting, talking to people about it. They're engaging. Oh, guess what? I have prospective clients coming out of it, all because I'm taking care of myself. It just keeps going. Drink your shake, move your body. Everything else just falls into place. Like really the basics. There's a reason that the business is built on those 4 things. Personal development, the shake, the workout, and the recognition. Because when you feel good and you see other people feeling good, you want to shout out those other people. Because guess what? When I posted our Workout Warrior, I'm like, I screwed up, fell off track, I'm back. The love that just kept coming in there, I was like, man, I feel even better. It's just a cycle of positivity, and it starts with those 4 basics. Whether you're running a business, whether you want to be the top coach, you have to take care of yourself, and those 4 steps are the easiest, best way to do it.
I just wrote down the 4 things that you just said because that's like our entire business. Our whole business model is like drink a shake, your body, feed your mind and spirit, share your journey. Like, I think that's so important, and I'm so grateful that you shared that story, that we remember that the 4 vitals are the 4 vitals for a reason. And something I've been saying for a long time is that, there's one in there of connect, share, invite. And that piece doesn't work unless you're doing everything else. And that could not be closer to the truth. And this is what I mean by this. When you are drinking Shakeology or Energize or Recover or whatever it is that you like that we have that really works in your body well, when you're using the workouts and you feel like, man, that's so fast, it's so easy, it's so convenient, and you feel strong and you feel energized, when you start to feed your mind material that makes you think really deeply about your life and your process, and you're meditating and you're feeding your spirit, and you're then talking about that, and you're sharing what you're doing and how it's making an impact on your life. Not just got a workout done, but this is an insight I had during my workout, or this is a struggle I'm currently facing in my workout, or this is something I'm learning about me and food, or whatever that thing is. When you're sharing that, people are going to engage with you. They're going to want to build a relationship with you. And the next key piece that I'm sort of tailoring it a little bit differently than what we've learned traditionally in this business is when it comes to connecting and inviting, when you're sharing such authentic material about you and you're really connected to your process, you're going to start vibing with the people that are reading your stuff. And you're going to start vibing with the people who you're adding to your friends that you're finding, or maybe you're meeting people through other people's comments and you're just kind of like connecting with people. There will be this like energetic pulse that happens between you and these people, which to me is like soul recognition, like soulmate client or soulmate coach, compatible coach. It is those people that you want to take the time and energy to invite, to create a conversation around the invitation. This takes more time than sending out blanket invites to a bunch of people. It takes more time and it's a slower process, which means there are going to be less invites because you are literally filtering through your humans and being like, who are these people that are my people, right? You're feeling into the energy, you're trusting your intuition. It's a different type of invitation that's happening there. The reason I love this process, and I've been developing this process in my own business, is because the likelihood of them saying yes is really high, for one, because the connection is pretty much always mutual. And if it's not immediate, it's in the long term. You know, Leah is actually a perfect example of that because we've been friends online for a long time. Our kids are very close in age. She was approached by 5,000 Beachbody coaches in her entire journey because she was keto. She was on a keto journey for a long time and she lost a lot of weight very successfully. And she was literally hounded by like all these coaches all day long. And then when I finally invited her, I was like, listen, I've kind of been afraid to invite you because I sort of know your position on this, but at the same time, like you're really amazing. And I feel like you'd totally vibe with us. And I was very nonchalant about it. I was very like, take it or leave it. I was very, this is why I think you'd be amazing at it. I know people have probably already talked to you about it. I'm not attached. This being a conversation, you know, like it being with me. Here she is on our team. She set a goal. She wanted to join in December and she did. Okay. So does it take more time than maybe someone who sends out mass invitations to hundreds of people all the time? Yeah, probably. But do I think it's a worthy endeavor? And do I think you build more solid relationships? And do I think you build a team that's more connected to you? Yes, absolutely. So hopefully this new way of looking at invitations takes some pressure off, because I know that when you come into the business, any of these kinds of businesses, and they talk about inviting and they talk about recruiting, it's like, makes your head want to spin, right? But I've always felt that there was a way to do it that felt really authentic. And I feel like when you're doing the basics and you're tending to yourself and you're making sure that you feel good first and foremost, you will naturally begin to create relationships with other people who are vibing with you because your vibration changes. Take it to a metaphysical conversation. When you feel good, your frequency alters. It starts to change. And when your frequency starts to change, you start communicating differently. And when you communicate at that frequency, people of like frequency are going to start finding you. This has never happened before. I've been in this business 3 years. I have friend requests in my inbox every single day, not from random people, from very specific people who found me through a comment, through a video, through a blah, 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 who came straight to friend request me for a specific reason. And that's only happened since I leveled my frequency in the past couple of months. I've seen that happen where people are finding their way to me because I've been working on the way that I communicate and the way that my personal energy is. Okay. So the fretting over, I have to invite this many people, or I have to do this, or have to do that. Like, I really want you guys to not do that at all. And I want you to see this as a business built on basics. It's a business built on how well you care for you and having the kind of spirit that wants to be really generous and go out into the world and share your journey and share what you're doing and support other people without an expectation or an attachment to that thing. Of course, the showing up piece is really important. If you're not showing up, if you're not talking about what you're doing, if you're not sharing the ahas that you're having and the pieces that you're putting together, no one's going to know that you're having them. You can be having ahas all day long. People are going to be like, we don't know, right? We don't know that you're having them, and we don't know that you can help me have them. Because when people see you working through your stuff, the natural conclusion is she can help me. If she's doing this for her, she can help me with my moments where I need a help with ahas. And so this is why it's important that you share the basic things you're doing, because to you, they're like simple, but they're huge. So many people don't have any of these things in their daily ritual. And it's life-changing. I mean, really radically life-changing. I mean, Sable's story, she's been in this business with me for 3 years. And, you know, she went through a period of her life where she got rocked. She was so consistent and her whole life got rocked. And she went right back to where she started. And that's where we build from, you know, and you will always have these basic things. You will always have them to go back to. And these are precious. Do not underestimate the value of them. Upon them, you will build so much if you just keep doing them and keep sharing them, for sure.
And the best thing about having these as our basics and using them all the time, when we fall off, we realize much faster that we fell off, and we have a plan in place to fix it.
Yeah.
And that's unlike any other time before, right? So all of a sudden I'm like, bam, I'm aware I'm starting to make these same mistakes. What do? Let's go back to all the things that helped me get out of there before, and it turned around so much faster.
Amen.
And acknowledging that. Like, I made a post like, truth, I messed up. Like, I fell off, like, and how amazing I feel getting back in. And I had so many messages from people, whether they were, you know, part of our coach team, part of our workout warriors, or just people that are like, I didn't even know they followed me on Facebook.
That's another thing people
are watching.
Don't know. Yes. Please don't ever underestimate that. Can't tell you how many coaches and clients I've gotten from lurkers. It's just it's a real thing. It's a real epidemic. Yeah. And don't be afraid to share the hard stuff, you know, to really, like, I made a post today about like an experience of revisiting trauma that I didn't realize I had over buying a computer, a very unlikely situation. I bought a computer and suddenly I had a shit rest of my day and I was like, what the fuck? Like, what happened? Do you know what I mean? And what happened was I went right back to this pattern of being that started so many years ago. And when I put those pieces together, I was like, I've got to share this story. I've got to share it in some way that isn't like overwhelming, because, you know, so much of our story can be really heavy. Hi, she's so cute. So much of our story can be really heavy. So I didn't want to share it that way. I wanted to share it in a way where I was like honest and vulnerable, but also like that I was sharing the gifts that I was getting from that, from putting those pieces together. And when I shared that, I got so many texts and messages, you guys, from people being like, what you said just really rang a bell for me. Like, it really put something into perspective for me that I needed to hear. I'm so thankful that you shared that. Those posts, the ones I'm always like, are always the ones that people connect to the most. They're always the one that people are like, thank God you said that. They're always those posts. It's always those posts. So don't be afraid of sharing that stuff. It's really valuable to your audience.
And if someone doesn't like it and they unfollow you, are you really going to notice?
Bye.
I wouldn't notice.
Bye, Felicia. I don't have time for superficialness.
I don't track the numbers like that, so I would have no idea, and I would just keep moving on.
Neither do I. And on my Instagram, I don't do follow, unfollow. I don't do any of that. I just share my journey. I share hashtags that I like, and I move on with my life because life is short. Eat the toast and the avocados, and don't worry about follows and unfollows. Okay? Don't worry about it. All right. Anybody have questions? Please feel free to chat or unmute yourself and ask about the basics, or like if you're struggling with how to get back to basics or something we said didn't make sense. Let us know. Physically raise your hand. And then Leah's like, no, I get this. This makes sense. We just had our call today, so we basically talked about this.
Yeah, she's like, I'm ready. We just reiterated your getting started call.
I mean, it's such a simple business, you guys, and I've been in it for 3 years, and I'll tell you, in this is my third fall doing this business, being in this business. My first 2 falls were dead ass slow. I was like so slow on everything, like sales or recruiting or whatever. This year, it's been fucking fire. It's been like so many people coming and wanting to join and wanting to engage. And the thing that has changed has been my frequency around this entire business, has been me feeling like I'm having fun, I'm focusing on me, I'm healing my internal shit, and I'm just sharing that and being really unattached to the result. I wish that I had known this when I started, because I was so attached to a result when I started. I either did nothing and like zoned out and disappeared from my audience, or I was like overly attached to comments and likes and blah, blah, blah. And I made everything mean so much about me. And if someone didn't comment or like, then I was a fail and blah, 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 blah. Okay. None of that is true and none of it matters. The only thing that matters is, are you in alignment when you're posting that thing? Are you in alignment when you're inviting that person? Are you in alignment with the group that you're starting? Are you in alignment with the food that you're eating? Are you in alignment with the workout that you're doing? The only question that I really want you guys to ask yourself is, am I in alignment right now? Am I in alignment with this meal choice, with this workout, with this invitation, with whatever? Okay. Make that the most pressing question you can ask yourself. And I promise you, if you operate from there, it all comes. It all comes. And the basics are just a way to get into alignment. The basics are a way that you get back into the alignment, because what are you doing? You're nourishing your body. You're exercising your body. You're feeding your mind. You're feeding your spirit. You're doing all things, taking care of all levels. And then naturally the rest comes. It's so good. It's such an easy formula. Any other questions or comments, or that's pretty much it.
We can talk about the December calendar I made.
Yeah, Sable did share a December calendar. It's already in our page. Pull it up. So just a quick FYI,
I have it memorized.
This Shanti program that's launching in January is going to be huge, you guys. Like, Shanti is very well known. He's very well loved. And on top of that, this workout program is only 20 minutes long. So if you guys have not like educated yourselves on what Transform 20 is, I really encourage you guys to take the time to educate yourself. Go to the FAQ, go to your coach online office, go to the FAQ and learn about the program. How it is and how it works, because what people know and love him, and they will want to know about this program. So I'm trying to open up the calendar so I can share my screen and go over it with you guys.
And 20 minutes a day, are you kidding me?
And it's a step. I mean, it's like,
it's fun. All of his programs are killer, but they're always so much fun. Like, as I'm trying, I'm like, okay. Everything on my body hurts right now, and there's no weights or anything.
I know. That's how I feel too. Oh, wow. You did a lot. The whole dang calendar, color coded and everything. I should have known. It's Sable Santana. Okay.
Ugh, it moved on to 2 pages?
Yes, it did go down to 2 pages. I'm sorry.
That's so annoying. I kept redoing it.
The OCD is strong.
Ugh.
Okay. First of all, I lost my Zoom, so now I can't find you guys. There you guys are. Okay. So you guys can see the calendar sheet. Typically, we separate inviting to make it easier for you guys. Like, the first half of the month, we'll focus on inviting to coaching. So that would be the time where you're doing brainstorm on like, who would you want to invite to the opportunity to have them come do this with you. And the second half of the month, we usually dedicate it to joining our fitness communities. We just created this schedule to make it easier for you guys in your minds for when to invite to what, because we are hosting simultaneous events all the time. And just as a reminder, all of my personally sponsored coaches, you guys are welcome into the Workout Wellness Studio, but we are asking you guys to create your own groups for your clients modeled after the Wellness Studio. So take all of our ideas and implement them into your group so you have a space for your clients. You can use this invitation schedule as you need. The challenge packs are already live for Transform 20 as well as the Energize sticks. So instead of just getting the tub, you now have the option of getting the individual packets for Energize.
I mean, they always had the individual packets, but dear God, I did not know I needed it in a stick. Apparently I do.
Well, they only had 10. Now you can get your full month serving.
It's awesome though too, because you can pour it right into your water bottle.
Yeah, that's freaking genius.
Because the carpet under my desk at work is like stained yellow because
yeah. So those two things are already out. Go to your Coach FAQ. If you just go to your online office, there's a button that says FAQ and read about these things. So you can prepare, like, how do you want to talk about this program for launching this program? Of course, here are all of our meetings. We're every Wednesday night. The National Wake Up Calls every Monday morning. So then for January, we are doing a book club for the month of January. We did that a couple months ago with great success. And I recommended The Go-Giver for us to read as a team. It's a very short book, but it's a really powerful book. And I think for me, it exemplifies everything I want to be and aspire to be in this business. And I think for you guys, it will do the same. So it gives you plenty of time to find this book, whether it's in a library or it's buying the book. It's a genius book. You want to get your hands on that book.
And the last week of December is my favorite call of the year, the vision board call.
Yeah, so I'm actually having a vision board party like for the public, which we might just do that. You know, it's on the 28th instead of the 26th, but I'm throwing like a big vision boarding party where I'm explaining how I create digital vision boards that you can then print out and put on poster boards. So I'm going to teach you guys how I make my vision boards. They're very easy to make and they look amazing. So you guys can learn how I do that. I'm just writing the name of the book in the chat so that you guys can see it. There's also a book by them called Go-Giver Sells More, which I have not read, but that's the next book that I'm going to read because it's about sales, specifically coming from this perspective of being of service, which I think is really important and beautiful. So any questions on any of that, the calendar or the launches or where to find information? Pretty self-explanatory. It's pretty easy to find all the stuff. Beachbody does a really good job of informing you and sending you emails about everything that's happening. So you really can't be out of the loop. When you go into your online office, there's a tab that says Coach Breaking News. Read that. Please make sure you read that every day. They literally update that thing every day and don't make any public announcements. So please go in there. It'll tell you if they're having issues with BOD. It'll tell you if they're launching something new. It'll tell you if they're giving like a tune-up to the office. It'll tell you everything. So if you're ever like, what's happening? Coach Breaking News instantaneously. We'll tell you all the things. So this is our first call of December, which is crazy. It's our first call of December. December is a time to set up for the next year. So I really want you guys to lean into this whole vision has been like a big theme in my life right now for across all the projects that I'm working on. I really want you guys to lean into your vision for 2019. If you're coming up on the end of 2018 and you're like, I really don't feel like I've done as much as I wanted to do in my business. I really don't feel like I've given it as much as I wanted to give it. Then make a different choice for 2019 and decide how you're going to do that. How are you going to show up different in 2019 than you did 2018? How will you know that you've done it differently? What is the proof that you will have done it differently? Will you have a team? Will you have hit a certain income goal? What is it? Will you have been consistent on social media for all 12 months? Like, what is the thing? Set a very like tangible result that you could have in your business that would demonstrate to you that you've done something different this year than the previous year. I think that's really important. So spend some time. Kari updated a really amazing like vision planning worksheet into the Wellness Studio. So go check that out because that was really awesome. That was really good. Add on and then do that vision meditation that I have up there because that shit was fire too to help you get into the vibe. All right, so that is all I have for you guys. I'm gonna upload this right now and put it onto our team page. If you guys have any questions or comments, please feel free to post below. I'm going to start organizing our team calls in units. inside of our team so that you guys can easily go into the units in the group and find team calls on whatever subject you might need to rewatch. Okay. So I love you guys. Thank you so much for hanging with me tonight. Have an amazing evening, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.